Okay, welcome back. We're talking about plagiarism. No, you can't just go to some source and copy a sentence and paste it in your document. That's not how it's supposed to work. What you can do is paraphrase. You can read the document and go, ooh, okay, I understand what they're saying. And then you go to your document and you think to yourself, okay, what they're saying is, so you reuse your own words to describe what they're talking about. Okay? Again, I don't suspect we'll have a problem, but I have been surprised. So in supplemental materials, there's a thing called 10 types of plagiarism that could help out. Okay, so here's like a generic grading rubric for the assignments. So 20% is, can you read and follow instructions? Amazing. 35% is, did you learn what it is you're supposed to learn from this assignment? You know, like using this particular tool. So did it work? You know, using the tool. Did you use the tool in the best way? You know, best practices. And spelling, grammar, and formatting is quite frankly, there's hardly going to be that many words in most of the assignments. It's mostly just going to be screenshots. Okay, so late policy. Everything is due at 11:59 on the date shown, typically a Thursday. By the way, I have everything in this class synchronized with the schedule for the face-to-face class. So that's why the due dates are always exactly the same. Anyway, I typically start grading the next morning, you know, Friday morning. Now, I can't swear that I'm going to have it done on Friday. I mean, it could be other things going on, but I try. So there's a 5-point penalty per day. So as a little example here shows, you know, you could turn in a perfect paper or perfect quiz, but you're 4 days late. Well, 4 times 5 is 20, so that means the most you can make is an 80. And if you're pretty good at math, you could probably figure out that after 20 days, you're not going to get anything at all. And when you resubmit something, I mentioned you can resubmit it. So you may turn it in on Monday, but I don't grade it until Friday. Friday comes around, I go, oops, you missed part number 4. And you go, oh, okay. And you turn around and resubmit it that day. Well, if you're resubmitting it on Friday, that means you're a day late. Okay, so the most you can make on a resubmission is a 95. Okay, let's continue. So this is my grading history. Now, the purpose for showing this is basically so, you know, you and I are eye to eye. You can look at this and go, wow, you know, he's not an easy A kind of professor. Not everyone passes with flying colors. He's also not terribly tough ass because it looks pretty decent. Now, if you ignore the F's, okay, look, the F's are not, oh, this material is so hard I couldn't follow. No, that's not what it is. The F's are people who signed up for the class and then just don't turn anything in. Well, I have no choice but to give them an F. But outside of that, that's a halfway decent bell curve. You know, for most people, make an A or a B. And I'm happy with that. I mean, I'm happy with A's and B's being the most prevalent grade. I'm thinking that's about right. So let's continue. I mentioned about feedback. So you can turn in an assignment, I'll scribble on it and give it back to you, and you can do this as many times as you like. I had this one student who did this like 4 or 5 times for every assignment. I kind of admired them because they stuck to it until they got everything right. So let's talk about this a little bit more. How do you get to your feedback? So there's personal feedback in your gradebook. You know, you go to Canvas and go to your gradebook. And then if you go in through the gradebook, there's a button over in the corner that says View Feedback. And what I'm talking about is this thing called annotation feedback. So just hang on. We'll show it in just a minute. So I've been known to put in some Easter eggs, something inside your document that basically says something along the lines of, if you respond by midnight tonight, I'll give you 5 extra points in the next quiz, something like that. So yes, I'm trying to entice you into reading the feedback. Okay, good. And then normally what would happen is I have a discussion forum where I say, well, you know, the average score was an 84, but if there's only going to be 1 or 2 of you, I probably won't be doing a discussion forum. So watch your email immediately after the due date. I mean, like Friday afternoon probably. Because if you miss something or you turned the wrong thing in, I send you a Canvas email. Or if I send you a note that says, you know, hey, you know, you're missing part number 3. If you're gone on a fishing trip, you know, geez, that's going to cost you in late points big time. And don't plagiarize or cheat because that'll just annoy me. So how do you read feedback? Well, inside Canvas, they have this thing called a document viewer. And the notes I'm talking about, the annotation comments, are inside your document. Now, if you go in through the gradebook, there's an extra step you have to take. You have to click on this thing that says View Feedback. Now, if you go in from Canvas, go to the Assignments section, then the document viewer just pops up automatically. So let me show you what that looks like. So if you look over here, it says, oh, that's a good start, but I suggest you do some tweaks and resubmit. That is not what I'm talking about. That is not annotation comments. You click on this thing that says View Feedback, and that will show you what notes I put inside your document. I've had students that, well, why did I get an 85? And I said, well, click on the dang button and find out why you got an 85. Oh, I didn't see that. I'm like, oh, man. So, yeah. Now, if you go in through the assignment page in Canvas, the document viewer pops up automatically. And this is what I'm talking about over here on the right-hand side. These are little notes I leave you. Sometimes they're good notes. Sometimes it's like, oops, you forgot something. And hopefully they're helpful, not just, you made a mistake. But hopefully they're like, hey, don't forget this, or have you considered this, that kind of stuff. Hopefully it'll be useful so you can turn right around and resubmit the document a second time. Okay, so a little bit about me. Hi, I'm Emmett Gray. I'm going to be your professor. Retired from civil service at Fort Hood, Fort Cavazos. I'm a total geek. I'm a software author and programmer. I write programs for fun. Got a gazillion published applications out there. I have degrees in mathematics and engineering, plus computers, but I do not have my PhD, so don't call me Dr. Gray. And I got a gazillion Microsoft and CompTIA certifications that you're probably not interested in. I'm what's called an adjunct professor, which means I work part-time. I do have an office at Founders Hall, room 323Q. I don't have a phone, but the admin person down the hall, the COBO, the College of Business Administration person down the hall, that's great. I'm available for Canvas email, yes, and you can do university email as well. So I have a 2-hour block on Tuesdays and Thursdays for just no appointment walk-in office hours. If you really want to schedule something, that'd be great. I'm also available for virtual office hours with Zoom or Teams or whatever software that you have at the house. Okay, so typically in a face-to-face class, I would have each student stand up and tell me a little bit about themselves, and then where are you on a scale of 1 to 10? 1 being, oh my God, I'm so lost. Why on earth did I sign up for this? I don't think there'll be that many of those. And 10 would be, I've been doing this stuff for a living for 10 years. I could probably teach this class with my eyes closed. Probably not that either. Most people are going to be, yeah, I got the prerequisites. I know a little bit about malware. I will tell you, if you're a coder, this class will be a slightly bit more entertaining than if you're not a coder. I mean, it's not a requirement. I'm just saying it's a little bit more fun. Okay, so that's the end of the PowerPoint part. I don't typically use PowerPoint in my lectures, so that's probably the last PowerPoint you'll see. So this is just a whirlwind tour of Canvas. Let's just go through it. So I'm going to start with announcements. I usually have some things stacked up here. The ones I have here is the fact that we have some external drives that are available if you need to borrow one, and how to acquire a copy of the Windows 10 thing. So assignments. So this is all, by the way, this is the teacher's view, so I can see an awful lot more than what you can see. But there's a syllabus quiz, and here's all the assignments and all the quizzes and the term project, et cetera, et cetera. There's 3 discussion forums. One of them is introductions. If you want to just say, hi, my name is Bob, and I have a pet wombat, and I'm graduating in the fall. That'd be great. Course feedback is like, oh man, quiz 2 really killed me, or hey, you guys want to get together for a study group, those kinds of things. And the grading notes is a closed forum just for me, where I typically would say, okay, we just finished the quiz and average score was an 85. Now the only problem with that is if there's only 2 of you in the class, and I tell you what the average was, you'd be able to figure out the other guy's score, right? So I may not even use the grading notes part. Don't know yet. I'm going to skip over grades and people because it doesn't make any sense in this context. But let's go to the syllabus. So a copy of the syllabus, and then basically everything that's due, everything is due at 11:59 on all these dates, right? Same old, same old. Modules. Modules is where everything is. So I'm just going to go through these sections. There's a section called Start Here, and Supplemental Material, and Videos, etc., etc., etc. All right, so let me just start with the welcome page. You've seen that. All right, so welcome. And about this class. This is a lecture-heavy class, and quizzes and assignments are often based upon what we did and said in class. Yeah. So this may be problematic for independent study. I don't really know. We're just going to have to wait and see. So independent study means you don't have any lecture components. I don't have videos for this course, so you're just going to have to look at the lecture notes themselves. Windows-based PC, yep, you're going to need a Windows-based PC. Now, you don't have to go spend money, but because, none of these things cost money. The virtualization, emulation, or cloud-based solution, all that is free to you as a student. Things to do first. Obtain a copy of the test book, yeah. Read the syllabus, yeah. Go through the introductory slides, that's what you're doing now. Introduce yourself in the discussion page, and go ahead and get the Azure Dev Tools for Teaching account now. Because I don't want to wait, halfway through the semester and you go, oh, but wait, it doesn't work. So here's information about me, about office hours, the book, the syllabus, the slides we just went through, and then the course objectives, which is required. Okay, so continuing on. So here is the schedule. This is the honest-to-God official schedule, meaning that if there's going to be any changes, it's going to be here in Canvas. That's where the changes are going to take place. The real take-home, of course, is something is due every single Thursday without fail. Well, that's not true. I don't sign anything during spring break. But anyway, assignments are typically released 2 weeks before they're due. Quizzes 1 week before they're due. Yeah, you've heard all that. Good. So if you're new to Canvas, or perhaps not, and you want to look up, so I've had students come to me and say, well, I didn't know how to resubmit. Could I just email you the new version? And I go, well, no. I mean, use the Canvas, assignment page to resubmit a document. Oh, I've never done that before. Like, okay. So yeah, you kind of need to learn this stuff. Okay, let's go back to here. Supplemental materials. This starts off with the Don't Go to the Dark Side document. 10 types of plagiarism, the instructions on how to do the Azure Dev Tools for Teaching. And then these things. These are things that are going to be mentioned in the lecture notes. It's like, okay, so there'll be a hands-on component that says, open up Notepad 1 and do this. Okay, that kind of stuff. So here's the introductory videos that you're watching now, plus everything you need to know about installing VirtualBox in Windows 10. Step-by-step instructions on how to install VirtualBox in Windows 10, because I'm expecting you to do this kind of out in a normal face-to-face. This will be week 7. And in fact, let's go to week 7 in the hand. So week 7 has a hands-on component. Talks about this is the script to follow for installing VirtualBox, and likewise the script to follow to installing Windows 10. So I want you to do that in advance. I don't want you to wait to week 7 to be able to do that. Okay, so let me just bring up something. I'm just going to click on here, chapter 2, for no particular reason. So I just want to show you what the lecture notes look like. So I'm just going to click on this guy. Okay, so here's some things. I'm asking questions like what needs to be installed, and there's a little a plus sign that talks about a URL to go do stuff. Subtypes. Here's some more about a cool story. And so all sorts of interesting things in here, and asterisks for for figures and stuff. Now this, you can't really see this thing, but if you were to take this and pull it down and put it in a notepad, this would be a really cool little chart, showing all the difference between infectors and worms and Trojans and stuff. So it's all there. It's just kind of jumbled up. So this is the kind of stuff I'm talking about with regard to being able to be a substitute for lecture, because this is what we're going to be said and done in lecture. Okay, we're coming up on the 15-minute mark again, so we'll polish this thing off in one more section.